Hey guys, back again. So I was going to cut this one here, but we still have the post, and that is the most not difficult, but it's the component that has the most code. Not too much, but let's add the delete and also the post. So currently we are just able to redirect, but we cannot see anything, so let's just do that and get the delete function. And in the last video, well, not last because we still need to fix a few things, in the next video we're going to continue with the update, which is going to take a little bit of time. So let's just make this work. So okay, as usual, we are here in the post view. We're going to grab the import for the Firebase config in case you want to import another component, which we are not doing here. Okay, so I kind of missed that. I should have done something about that, but you can just say import in case we wanted to maybe import main from. We can say add components, I think, and this should give us, okay, we cannot say that, but let's say to components and main if we wanted to do that, and we should just define components, and I think this is an object, and we can say main, and we will be able to use main here using a main just like that. Okay, but I'm not going to do that. We will do that later, but I just forgot to do this in this specific. Maybe we can just leave this open to work later to add maybe just simple components so you can see how that works. But in this case we are just going to continue with what we, okay, let's see if that works. That should actually work, so I can just move on. Let's see actually. Post view Firebase is fine but never use. Okay, yeah, let's just do this. As you can see, we are using postworks and we are adding inside this the other component which is coming from main. Okay, I mean which is the main component, and we are just adding that. Okay, so this is how you would set a new component inside this specific component. So if we had another one that maybe is an alert or a model or whatever, so you can see where we are. Okay, post and the ID. So if we go back and we click this one, it's going to do the same. It's going to add us the main component there. So yeah, I think that kind of fixes the problem. So you can see how you can import or add other components inside your or the specific component on which you are working with. Also, I didn't explain that, but we have the template, and this is something like React. We can just only add a single element. Okay, so we cannot do this because it's going to break. Okay, let's do whatever. Okay, it's not there, sorry, but here, and this is going to break because the template rule requires exactly one element. Okay, I forgot to explain that, but yeah. And let's just continue with this. In order to display what we want, we need to say data here, and let's make this kind of fast. So I'm just going to copy all this because we already know how we want or how the return works. Okay, we specify all the information we want to use in the template here inside this return. Okay, so you can see we have this post data, which is going to store the object of Firebase, the document that is coming from Firebase. We have this post ID, which is going to grab the root, the param, call ID. In this case, we need to match what we are looking inside the route. Okay, so we are going to grab the ID, and this is how we get the global router. Okay, so it's going to grab this specific part, which is the ID, and we say edit mode false because we want to add a little toggle, and edit post is going to come later with the edit, but it's going to store in a form the reference of the post information that we have, and it's going to change so we can update the post later, but that is going to come later as a set. So let's save this, then let's say created, okay, and let's add okay, so in created, let's just work with this. We're going to say Firebase that get, okay, sorry, I forgot to okay, so from Firebase we're going to get the current post using this that post ID. Okay, so is what we are setting here. Then, so that should give us the correct document. We're going to return it as post and use it. So we can just console that, but I'm not going to do it. So we're going to say this that post data equals to post data, post.data. So we set this post data, which is this object, to be equal to the object that is being responded with this inside this function. And let's just say set the default values for the update. We're going to work with that a little bit later. So because as we are doing here in the create at post, we are going to use a form which should have these models, kinda, okay, these bindings that so we can use the updated version of the inputs, I mean the contents, in order to update the post that we are currently checking. And let's say catch error console.log error. So this is the created, and we're going to add the methods. Right now we don't need this, at least, yeah, we need only the delete. Let's say delete post. We still don't have that, I think, but let's just add it. So we're going to say Firebase that delete post. So for this we're going to use this that post ID, and remember that in order to delete we need to pass the reference of the file. So we're going to say this that post data that file ref, something fell over there. Seems there are ghosts. Okay, sorry, my dog is kinda, so yeah. And so let me just check what I was going to check. That threw me off a little bit, sorry guys. Oh yeah, the not index but the config. So you can see in delete post we're getting the post ID and the file ref, which is going to remove using the storage the specific file from Firebase. So post view, okay. Then we are just going to redirect because there is no point of keeping the user inside this since it's going to be removed. Then we're going to say this that router, so this is a special the global router that push name So we need to specify the name of the component. In this case, it's going to be main, which is referencing the root of the application. And let's say catch. I didn't add the period. Okay, catch. And this is just going to be the error and console.log error. So that should be all we need for this part, but still we don't have the post showing here, so we are going to add it. Let's just remove that and use this div. We're going to say class post container, and it's going to have this h2, which is going to say post details h2. We close that. I added an hr here. Okay, let me just move my mouse in case you cannot see what is there. And we say section. We close that. Image. So we're going to use this column source in order to reference or to bind the image to the information that is coming. So it's going to say post data.cover. Okay, let's save this and let's see if that works. Okay, you can see this one. I really like this image. So let's say div, and this div is going to contain inside the h3, which is going to be the interpolated version or the information that is coming from post data title. Remember that we are setting this post data to the post data that is being grabbed. So the object which is returning, so let me just show you console.log post, so you can see how the object is coming. You can see the title here. Okay, so we cannot see that. Okay, because we have the data, right? Yep, that data. Okay. You can see how it's coming, the file ref, the content, the title, and the cover. So we're using here the cover, we're using the title here, okay? So this object right now is the post data that we are referencing in this part, okay? That's why we are setting this post data to that, so we can use it. So let's just delete that and let's continue with the next part, which in this case is a div. You could also use, I think it's HTML in order to, if you're using maybe tiny MCE to add you know, an editor. This should allow us to see all the syntax that usually those editors add, but this is just a simple thing. So let's say post data that content, so we can see the content. This is just a div with some text. Okay, you can see da 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 da. So is that all? Okay, I will need to add the next part, that is the, let's just add all this and work our way through all this. Okay, not there, sorry, but here is below. Okay, so we're going to add a new button here. Okay, sorry, not there, but below the section. Remember that we only are allowed to have one root element, which is this div with class post container in this case. So we add a button with class edit, v on click, so this is going to trigger on a click event the toggle edit mode, which I don't have here. Let me just add it. So this should open the or show us the So let's just go to methods and add it here. It's going to show us the form that will allow us to edit. So let's say toggle edit mode, and this that edit mode is equal to not or the inverse of what we have in the edit mode. Let's add a comma there. So this is the edit mode. In this case is false. When we click this, it's going to change to the inverse, which is going to be true. And if it's set to true, it's going to change to false, and so forth. Also, we're going to add the handle file right now because we're going to add the function, and we will need to do that. I mean the form, and we will continue with the next in the last video. Well, not last, but in the next video. So it's just the same as we had before. It's going to set this edit post cover to the file. So I'm just going to add the form here. Let me just add it so I can explain that a little better. So, or better yet, let me just remove all this. Sorry about this. Let me just remove this so we can just focus on all that, because I don't want to. What the hell is this? Okay. Let me just remove this one. Okay, and we will continue with that in the next. I'm just going to do something here which is going to allow us to see how the edit works, or how that toggle works. The be if, sorry guys, it's kind of late and I should have thought this better. So this is only for demonstration. Just say paragraph. Let me just grab this, all this, and paste it. So below here, let's just add a comment. Form goes below this. Okay, so I was thinking about that, but just refresh. Is this going to be removed? Yep. So you can see how this works. Okay, it's going to toggle what we have inside this. Using the if, we're going to be able to set the specific elements that we want to show or hide using this edit mode. Okay, so let's just add the final stuff there to test, which is a button. Since we already have the delete, let me just to have it there, and to do the button, because remember that we added the delete. Say button v on click equals delete post, it says, and delete post. So we close the button. Okay, and remember that we have the delete post, which is going to delete the post. So first it's going to check the reference of the storage, then it's going to check inside the post collection for that specific ID that we're passing. It's going to delete that, and in case there's an error, it's going to catch that. Then it's going to say console post deleted, and after that we're going to find the child inside the storage which has the specific name that we're passing. In this case is this image. I actually don't want to delete that image. I kind of like that, just want to keep that there. So it's this one, you know, sometimes I so yeah, it's going to look for that specific image. In this case is what is being set here. So let me just show you. It's going to look for this specific one. Let's go to storage and see, show us the yeah, it's going to look for this one. I think is that the name. So it's going to delete, catch if there is an error. We could do sorry something different here with a handler that we used to do in React and Angular, but I'm not going to bother too much with that right now. So yeah, we could make this better actually, but let's just keep it like that. So in the next projects, as we move on with Vue, you will see the new stuff and how to deal with it's a little bit more complex, but not that bad. Okay, so I just don't want to get you confused with all that. So let's just open this, and you can see we have this button delete post, which should redirect us. Okay, so it's going to do the function, and the function is going to, we're going to wait for that to be done, and then use the router to push us or to redirect us to the main component. So let's say delete post. Post deleted, image deleted. And you can see we only have 3, and we can just refresh this. And we should only be able to see 3 images, and let's see, 3 posts. Okay, so let me just check that out. This should be all for this part. So what is the next stuff? Add here the form, so we can just update the information here using the function that we have, and it's going to update all this. Okay, so that is the last part. And just to make another change, which is going to allow us, or should allow us, to see the spinner, well, not the spinner, sorry, the progress of the file as is being uploaded, but that will be maybe from the week I upload this, the next week to that. Okay, so yeah, I will need to change a few things. That's why I'm going to do it like that. So again, that's all for this one. Thank you guys, and see you in the next one.